thank all of you for being here, for being so committed to be here this early in the morning. For me, it's a challenge to be early in the morning. I am going to talk about commitment, and I'm going to do that via my series I'm making, Annie Plus. I don't know if some people have heard of it already. Annie Plus people? No? Some? Yeah? Some people have? Okay, that's nice. The reason that I'm going to talk about commitment via my series is, I think the reason why people invite me here, is because we started it as a totally voluntary project, so only with ambitious friends and filmmakers who wanted to do this together. So I want to talk you through why we decided to work 2.5 years on this project together on a voluntary basis. So for myself, I'm a filmmaker, Valerie. I studied at the Film Academy. I graduated last year as a producer. But then I decided I like directing more, so I decided on working for Annie Plus. But producing, directing, I mean, there are different tasks, different jobs, but in the end it's all, in filmmaking I guess, all about what you want to tell. So my main reason for filmmaking, that's what I want to talk about, and that's also the reason why we made Annie Plus. Because when I was younger, I was about 14, I found out that I was gay, and I was searching for films and series with LGBTQ characters, which I could identify myself with. There were a lot of films and series, well, not that much, but there were some, and most of them were about problems, like LGBTQ characters having struggles with coming out, or having troubles with like depression, or even murder, or like suicide. And that's not the stories you want to see when you find out that you're like a little bit different than other people and not like that much different. So I wanted to make films because I saw the power of the medium film, and I thought like we should make films that have that power to reach a big audience and normalize like being gay actually, and show non-stereotypical characters with like nuance and with positive stories, like we all have positive lives as well. So that was my reason for going to the Film Academy, and that was also the reason for making Annie Plus. And before I go through the whole story of the making process of Annie Plus and the commitment we met along the way, I'm going to show you where we are now, because it's 2.5 years later, and we have a trailer, just released it. So I want to show you what's that, so you can have an idea of what Annie Plus is.
Ja, waar zal ik beginnen? Lily, mijn eerste grote liefde. We waren echt zo'n irritant, schattig klefstelletje. En natuurlijk gingen we ook nog eens allebei studeren in Amsterdam.
Nee! Kom, ik breng hem. Je bent ook nergens van mij, schatje. Dat is wel weer duidelijk.
Ik dacht dus altijd dat ik wel stevig in mijn schoenen stond. Ik begon te twijfelen. Ik vond het wel fijn om een beetje los te breken.
Stoor ik?
Wat is er?
Ai. Hoe ouder je wordt, hoe meer controle je krijgt over je emoties. Nou, niet dus. Verliefdheid kan je gewoon altijd overvallen. Yes, leuk vooruitzicht.
So that was a trailer released, I think 2 weeks ago. Annie Plus is a coming-of-age web series. In 6 episodes, we see the love life of Anna like during her student years, from 20 till 25 years old. So in the weekend, she's moving to her new apartment in Amsterdam after her studies. She meets her ex-girlfriend on the streets on purpose, and or not on purpose, accidentally, and she starts thinking about the relationships she has had throughout the years, and like how she has grown throughout these years. And actually the series is about who you are and how that depends on who you are with and who you surround yourself with. And then about commitment. So from the very first start, we needed to, my I'm going to tell the whole story about where I began, but we found a lot of people connected to the series, of course, and we needed to like tell our stories and why we want to make this, and I want to speak you through that, through these pilots, like my own commitments. I've already told it a bit, but also the core commitment of the main team who's working for 2.5 years. But also about getting others committed. How can you be so enthusiastic that other people want to work with you? But also keeping them committed, and that's a very important part as well. So the start. In December 2015, so 2.5 years ago, Maud came to me, the screenwriter of Anna Plus, and she had the idea. And together we had the same feeling, like we want to make content that used to lack when we were younger. So together we decided we're going to do this, and we don't know how long it's going to take, but we want to do this. So our commitment was already there, unconditionally. You might know this circle, you're creative people, the golden circle is maybe a bit cliche, but I think it's a very important sign actually, because in the end, this whole circle is about, like, it's about what you're doing, it's about how you do something, but the most important thing and the most important reason why you can enthusiasm other people is the why. So we have a strong why already, but how are you going to get people connected with that same why? Or can you find another why for other people to work with you? So for Anna Plus, we had the web series, making a series about a lesbian girl in Amsterdam. The how, we want to do this with a young team, like young professionals who have passion and drive to do this with us. But the why was like, we want to make like positive content for LGBTQs, or also the why for other people could be, we want to work with a young team. We want to meet new young professionals, because it's like also for your own career, it's nice to get in a new environment and get inspired by young people. So that were like reasons for joining the project for others. Maud and I were in, and we were starting to find the rest of the crew. So I was in the 3rd year of the Film Academy right then, so I knew a lot of filmmakers along the way. So I asked my friend, for example, Cor, the cameraman, whether he wanted to join, but also the sound engineers, but there were still a lot of people also missing in the team. I couldn't commit them because they were out of time, or they didn't have enough money because they needed to do like projects for money instead of voluntary projects. So that was hard to find. And then in the end, how are you gonna make it? Find a why. So spoiler alert, a lot of people from the crew are gay. I mean, you can't deny that, because that's their main why as well. And that's a very important part, I think, for the series as well, because the whole team has the same feeling of making this. And for the cast as well, we started with finding the main character, Hannah, in 2016 already. I think 1 or 2 months after we found the first ID. And we got Hannah in with the same story, like also with the why. And but for her it was also very exciting, because she didn't know who we were. We were just filmmakers, 3rd year, didn't make anything yet. So she needs to hear our story and think I want to do this because of what you want to do, and not because I know what the result will be. So that's the power of that why story, I guess. And also the other actors, a lot of them are also gay, but also actors who just want to work with young creatives. So we had a team, a crew, cast, all committed, and then we needed to find companies who wanted to give us funding, of course. You all know the story. So to prove companies that we were making something that was important and that should have an audience, we started to find already the audience. So in 2017, last summer, we released a teaser. So we shot with the committed team, we shot already for 1 day a small teaser to give people an idea of what we wanted to make and how it would look like. And to see what's going to happen if we put this online. So we did that. It was this teaser.
Nou, doei.
Ja. Ik vond het leuk.
Ja, ik ook.
Tot de volgende keer.
Ja. Leuk.
So that was the teaser we released last year, and after that, things went pretty well. I think the views of the video are like 80,000, and we have almost 3,000 followers on YouTube and Facebook, more than 4,000 followers on YouTube. And from the beginning on, it went already very fast, so we could show to other companies that people were interested in this. And that helped throughout the way getting more funding, of course. But to get more funding, we needed to find a foundation together, so we did that to get some small funds from the AFK, the Amsterdam Fund of the Arts, but also from the Trot Fund. It's a very small gay venue here in Amsterdam with our own fund, a foundation. So we did that, and then we decided we had the money from the like 5,000 euro from AFK. We had like 1,000 euros from the Trust Fund. Let's just start filming episode 1 and 2, because then we can show more of the series and what it will be like. And we wanted to start because we had a very enthusiastic team, and we just wanted this to be made. And we didn't want to wait for like the public broadcasters to finally come along, and for like funding for web series is very difficult. I don't know if people are making web series as well, but, or films in general, but everyone struggles with funding, I guess. There's not enough money for online. So from the beginning on, we found like a boundary like of no funding for online. It was all very like very old system actually that very much depends on TV. So we thought we'd just do it differently. We go for the funding and we just start filming at least the first 2 episodes. So we did that. Some shots of the set, and we already had a lot of equipment. We just borrowed it from rental companies. We just asked them to rent us it for a very low amount of money, and I think the most of it we just got free because of, for example, a producer. But we just told our very enthusiastic story about the series, and people got in because of different reasons, because they wanted to support like young people, because they wanted to support the project with the ideals. It worked. They saw our enthusiasm, actually, I guess. So we shot the first 2 episodes, but then we had a problem because the funding, we didn't have any money anymore, and we couldn't make it without any more money, and we didn't know how to reach it aside from crowdfunding. So we had the material of episode 1. I'm going to show you a small part of it. After that we did a crowdfunding campaign, and that was very interesting.
Hey, ik heb geen probleem. Hey, ik heb geen probleem en ik vind niemand raar. Alleen maar zien hoe je...
So we went online with our crowdfunding campaign for 12,500 euros, and within a week we reached our target amount of money. So we thought like, well, maybe we should go for the 200%. And it went pretty well. In the end we got almost 23,000 euros, and most importantly, like 479 supporters. So we had a lot of people invested in our series. So we were very happy about that, and we needed to, of course, important thing about commitment, say thanks to the people who are committed to you. So we made a video to thank all the supporters, and of course it shows that many people want this to be made. So that was the phase where we got companies committed. And the most important company for that was Mill Street Films. It's a professional film company here in Amsterdam. They made, for example, So, the series, and The Neighbors. They saw what we were doing, and one of their main main goals of making films is making films for a female audience by females. Well, that was what we were doing, because we were a team with a lot of women, and we were making series for women. So that was their reason for, for picking us up, but also because we were a young team and we wanted to invest in young filmmakers. So that went pretty well, and together we started talking with Trilab and BNNVARA. That's like, we're not totally working together with them already, but it looks like it might happen in a few weeks. So we're very happy about that. So when the first professional companies are getting in, more are getting in. It's sort of a snowball effect. So that about that. And then we got, well, still we didn't have the money, of course, only the crowdfunding money, but I can be like very honest about filmmaking, and a lot of people might know it. 22,000 euros is very nice, but to make a series, we made another budget for 250,000 euros, and then we would earn a little money each. So it was still a voluntary project and still a low budget for the project. So in March we got selected for Series Mania Festival, a series festival in Lille, France. Then we decided to just finish it. So the film company, Mill Street Films, decided, like, let's invest in this. We want to finish this. So they put in their own investment as well to at least finish 3 episodes. So we did that within 1 month. So the whole post-production of the 3 episodes was within 1 month. I was very lucky that we were working for 2 years already, so I could have thought about what I wanted it to look like, because in 1 month the whole post-production was crazy. But we got selected, and that was very nice. And that's cute picture in the middle. You see all the people that were working together on it, and also the production company with us. So it was really a moment where we saw like the impact of what we created, like the whole team together. And that's the phase right now as well. Last week we had this sort of wrap party, because we were almost finished with the whole series. And we received this picture of, or this like painting of a friend who's a supporter of the crowdfunding as well. And she captured like all the pictures from the whole process. And that she gave that to us, like the whole process within this painting. It was a very special moment, because we were all together with the whole team, and we realized what happened. I mean, we were with this first idea 2.5 years ago. The only thing was a mission, and the only thing was a goal we wanted to achieve, and somehow by our enthusiasm we made it to the end of the series. So for now we're almost finished, and in half a year the series will be released in the Netherlands, hopefully via BNNVARA, for example, but we still don't know yet. But what we know is that we made a series we're very proud of, and to come back to the whole commitment story, like your own commitments, find a why, find a reason why you want to do this. You all know that actually already, maybe, but I think that's the most important thing you want to share, because when you're very enthusiastic about something you do, others will see it, and so you can get other people committed. And the most important thing of keeping them committed is to make sure they meet their why, make sure they know at the end of the whole process that you're happy with what you've done, and that you have the feeling that you reached the reasons why you joined. But also, and that's the most important thing, is do it with a lot of enthusiasm, and say thanks, be grateful to the people whom you have committed, because in the end, you want to have a long-term commitment, and that's for the next project, I mean, the best you can have. And I think we're going to work with each other together again, and that's the most grateful thing, the most wonderful thing I can be grateful for. So, yeah, that's it about commitment for Adam Plus. Thank you.
Valerie, we do have some time for questions, so if you have any questions you want to ask Valerie, whether about her own commitment, whether it's Amplas, just go ahead.
Hi, I wanted to ask you, because I was very curious and impressed, of course, about the web series, but also about the crowdfunding, and I wanted you to share a little bit of how you made it so quickly to get all these people involved.
Yeah, well, the question was how we did it with the crowdfunding. Well, we started making a video, of course, the crowdfunding video. I didn't show it, I'm sorry. But it was with some footage of the series, so the teaser footage, but also the footage of the first episodes. And we mixed that with some like famous Dutch people who said something in front of the camera, like why they find it important, to make a story broader. So not only about us, because you see a lot of crowdfunding videos where people themselves are telling about why it's important to make something, but if you let others tell others why it's important, then you see like you reach a bigger audience. So that was happening, but also I guess because of the, well, a lot of like people from the LGBTQ community shared the videos, a lot of platforms, but also a lot of people who really wanted this to be made, like for real. So in the end, it totally depends on the fact that we're making a series about a lesbian girl in Amsterdam. I mean, no one has ever made a series about that before, so that was held, yeah.
I saw a lot of the shots, obviously it's throughout the city of Amsterdam. Did you have to get a lot of approval?
You were talking about approval for locations for filming in Amsterdam. Well, at some points we did, but a lot of things we just shot Brillia. Here at the Newmarkt we just shot it Brillia. Yeah, but for some places like just inside locations, like interior locations, we needed to ask permission. Also, just like Adel, people would do it for free because of the story. Yeah, thanks.
So you talked about you got volunteers together to shoot teaser footage, then you used that, sounds like, to get funding from Africa and Stick from Tooth, and then you put that money towards those first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if, I forget the exact number, it was like 5,000 or something like that. Where did that money go if, you know, a lot of the equipment was covered? Were you paying crew or not? Where did the funding end up? What was the cost that needed to be covered? And how were you paying rent and eating food?
That's a good question. Well, the 6,000 euros we had for the first episodes, it was going to, for example, the car rental company, fuel for the cars, food, and the producers thing, but also a little bit to equipment. I mean, we got the camera equipment for free, but not the sound equipment, for example. But we couldn't pay ourselves. No, well, only in the end we have a very small amount of money for ourselves, but a very, very, very small money. It's more like how you call it, a boekenbon, a voucher or something. You can compare it to that. It's like, well, thanks for being here. That's like the money we got ourselves. So I'm still searching for a way to pay my rent. But hopefully it's going to be like, this is going to be my sort of CV on doing that. Yes?
At first I want to say thank you. It's like, it's super huge and it's called the job you're doing, because now I'm working at my project also, and you know, it's very hard to involve people for free. I always feel shy. How was it for you to ask some professionals, friends of your friend to work for free? Yeah, because you know they can get money in other places.
Yeah, it's a good question. How can I ask people to do something for free? Well, usually I'm very bad at it. That's also why I started to be director instead of producer. But there is only one reason why I dare to ask everything, and that's because of making the content that I used to like when I was younger. So that's why I think that I'm going to get a prize I dare everything for that. So yeah, if you really believe in your main goal, your target, then I think the way of asking others is easy. It gets easier, but I'm still very happy with my producer.
But can I add to that?
Yeah.
Because in this case it was also even so that people came to us, like, can I work with you on this project? So if you're that confident of like making something that's important, people will see that and will actually come to you, like, can I please work with you because I know that this will like enlarge my network or whatever, like make me feel good, I get karma points or whatever.
Yeah, experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure you also had a lot of other projects and ideas coming through your head as you were committed to this particular project. How did you fight the urge to not be distracted, or did you put that like in a drawer somewhere?
That is a good question. How I couldn't get distracted from other ideas, for example. Well, I didn't. I just put like all the ideas that popped up in my mind in a booklet, and I'm opening it right now because the series is almost finished. So I'm trying to work on that from now on. But yeah, well, I only had one goal like, for 2.5 years. I don't think there's like a woman's name that I've named more often than Anna in the last 2.5 years. So people get already annoyed by it. I mean, my friends as well, I guess. But yeah, I only wanted to do this, and I wanted to make it like happen for real, and it need all the effort in the past few years. So now I've like new space for new ideas. Yeah. Yes.
So in the trailers you have subtitles. Will the final project have subtitles, English subtitles?
Yeah, the final project will have English subtitles. It's our main target to make it international as well. So yeah, but if it will be on the Dutch television, it won't have English subtitles. Of course, we try to do it like distribute it internationally. Yes. In the back.
I have a question about my question about letting go. So if you were you said it as a producer, now you became a director, so you got another producer, right, for this show, and did you find it easy to sort of delegate that function to another person, and also to if you've been committed to this project so long, do you find it hard to sort of finish it, to let it go, to make it come to a close?
Good questions. So how I could let go of the producer in me, and how I could like finish the project. I mean, after being working for so long. Well, in the beginning it was very hard to let go of my producer's thing, and I noticed that she started laughing. I like having control over things, and of course, because I was working on the project for I think 1.5 years before I met René. So before that, we had different producers on it, but they like got away and they started doing other things, so they didn't have the commitment for such a long time. So I was a producer like for 1.5 years actually, before the right people came in who completely took it over. So it took some time for me to have the feeling that it would be alright if it let it go, you know. But when that happened, and that's like happening right now, and also when Mill Street Films came in, I now have the feeling like it's going to be okay, and I can let go of some things as well. But it took some time, and it's also because I haven't had an education in producing, so I know what's happening. And but it's happening right now. I'm going to let go. And to finish a project, yeah, it's very hard because I don't know what's going to happen after it. So we have still 2 weeks left, in which we're going to do the music and the last mixing, sound design things. And it's weird to finish it, but in the end it's very nice to finish something. I tend to work on some things too long maybe. I'm very not good at finishing So it's good to have deadlines from production companies. So like now it's going to be done, and it's like okay, I can't do anything about it anymore. It's just done. Yes.
I think On the Bus is a very great name. Can you maybe share something about the process, how you came up with the name for this project?
How to know what the name for the project? Well, Maud came up with that idea, the first idea, and it was on. So she was on a holiday and thinking about how we could make the series, and she came up with that name and the idea of plus every episode. So she came up with the idea and she came with it to me with like one paper which she stated the plan on, and that was with the title already. So we had it from the beginning on.
I love your work. I love your commitment. Well done. I have a question about paying rent.
Yeah.
Do you already have like your next commitment? Are you, for example, willing to do commercial work?
I don't have any work yet, and I would love to do some commercial work as well. Yeah.
We gotta talk.
Okay. Because I need to pay my rent.
Yeah.
I'm actually starting to worry about it right now. The series is almost finished, but can I still live in my house?
You still look good.
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to do commercial work. Yeah.
Cool.
Other questions? Yeah.
I wanted to ask about. Did you have any break points with your commitment where it was like, oh, I don't want to be committed to this project anymore. I want to let go. Or was it that because you talk about commitment like it's something very easy?
Yeah.
So was it easy for you to remain committed? And if not, where did you find motivation to remain committed? Was it responsibility, or what pushed you for that? Or
okay, thanks. The question was why I could stay committed. Making the I'm going to say it again, but making the content that you used to like when I was younger is like so to the bones important to me that because I struggled as a youngster, and I know so many people in the whole world are struggling with it. So I know how important it is. So I really want to do this. So I never lost my commitment to that. The only thing is that the process can be hard, and after for 1.5 years not finding the right producer was hard. So I was like, how am I going to do this? And without like these people getting committed to my project, I think we couldn't make it. So I'm very thankful for the other people who came in to help and who have the same like urgent to make this. Because otherwise we would still have made it, but not the way it is now. So it's easier to do it with others, and that helps you as well. So some moments that are hard, you just find the urgent again because of like people around you as well.
Okay, one more question. When you started the project, did you actually have scripts written, or did you just have an outline when you started out?
For the film itself, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had scripts written. Maud wrote all the scripts, so together we made up all the storylines, and she wrote the script, so we had a fully scripted series. I did only some improvising with the actors because I think that gives their play more, it gets more natural. But it's not fully scripted, yeah.
Yeah. This is a question about sex. I can tell this is a web series about lesbian relationships, but I'm guessing that lesbian sexuality is part of that. Did you have a vision from the beginning about how sex scenes would be treated within the series, and how explicit or how leading or in what way or something particular you wanted to say? And if so, did that affect the commitment? Because it can affect it a lot in both a positive or a negative way for the actors and actresses, for the production companies that got involved, distribution, things like that.
Good question. It's about the sex scenes and what was my vision of that, and if it affected the process. We knew already that we wanted to have some sex scenes in it, and the main character, Hannah van Vliet, who plays the main character, knew that also from the first conversation we had, because you need to be open about that. But the way we were going to film it, we hadn't decided yet, because I had some ideas of what I thought that would be nice, but I think it's very important to talk that through with your actors. I mean, they need to do that, and they need to show themselves on screen. So I always talk that through with the actors itself, and I think in the process there have been moments that I didn't really have the idea how I wanted to have it yet, because I wanted to know what was like okay for the actors first. So there's this one scene that's like we were filming, and in the beginning was very like exciting for everyone because it was one of the first shooting days, and the actresses didn't know the cameraman was gay already, so that all these awkward things were happening. But at the moment where we created like this very intimate ambience on set, like so people felt that we were just doing this for the purpose of film, and we were very like serious about it and very calm and normal about it. It's for actors, it's very comfortable as well. So they dare to like put out their shirts, for example, and they said it themselves. They were like, okay, this scene would be just better if we just put out our shirts. I'm like, yeah, that's true. I'm glad you say that. But I let them say it. So I like made them watch the scene back. I sometimes do that because they can see themselves what's happening and what they want to change themselves as well. So that's happened, but there's also a scene where everyone has their shirts on because they didn't really know each other that well, and actually I was very happy that happened, and I was also for myself I was thinking like I'm not going to push it through because I think it's nice that they're having the shirts on because it has a sort of how you put it, it makes it like a bit uncomfy between them, and that's just the right thing I wanted to tell, that they're still not fully comfortable with each other. So that was that. I just always listen to the actors, and of course if I really want something then I'm going to push it through, but then you need to be honest about it from the beginning on. Yes?
So when you put your teaser online and also later on with the fundraising, it seems like it grew pretty organically, but did you have to give it some sort of impetus at the beginning to get some traction? Like, did you contact blogs, or how did that happen?
He asked whether when we put the teaser online, how did it go with getting the views? Yeah, well, I think companies came to us, like platforms came to us because they saw it already. The only thing we did was a small push from Le Parole when we released the newspaper. When we released it that day, because a friend of us was working at the Parole, so she thought like, okay, when you release it, I'm going to do that. Okay, thanks. So Linda TV also, or Linda News also shared us, and then the production company found us, and so it went as a snowball, sort of that, yeah.
Any more questions? Any final question? Yeah.
Just about the format or the medium. Like, you started out as a web series, but now it sounds like you're maybe getting it on TV. Does that matter? Is having the independence of web series compared to the, I guess TV still get more distribution and the financing is easier? Do you have any sort of opinion on where it should end up, or do you just want to get the thing out?
Yeah, good question. It's about TV versus web series. Well, our main goal was making an international series, so we wanted to put it online, but we found out that it's very, very hard to finance that. So in the end, we get like back to the very traditional system of TV, and we're trying to make our way through that still. So we hope in the end it will be like possible to just put it online for the international market or via other platforms, for example. Yeah, I'm still figuring that out, because if you put it online right now, then we don't have a way of funding or getting our money back, and we don't have a way of, for example, maybe making a second season. So we really need to get stuck to the traditional system for now, I guess. Yeah.
One more final question.
One more crucial question. how the gay lesbian community reacted on this movie. Because a few days ago I had a discussion, for example, with my gay friend, and about the Call Me By Your Name, and he was like afraid about all this cliche, like scenes or like behaviors or something like that. So what was the reaction?
What were the reactions of the LGBTQ community? Yeah. Well, not everyone has seen it already, of course, but some people have. And we get positive reactions till now. And the storylines are mostly just about like 20-something people in Amsterdam. So I think that's very relatable, and we wanted to make very relatable scenes for everyone who's ever been in love. So I think everyone should relate, or can maybe relate to that. And of course we have some cliches in it, where we do it on purpose because for the community, but also we try to avoid the stereotypical things. So I hope people will find it like that we made it like the way they would love to see it. But I think we know that because at least we're making what we would love to see. So that helps maybe a bit.
Give it up for Valerie.